for some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jason J, for gifting 10 memberships. So here's your flame note, and those went to I Have My Favorites, Georgie's Life Unfiltered, Frida Bird, Gina BT, LJ's Home, Amanda Dareep. Again, if I mispronounce any of these, my eyes are, well, terrible, and my phonetics are worse. Anything for Salinas, 806, Shoe Kindness, Passenger Princess 2020, Country Girl, 8869. Congratulations. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We are working on more members content. And let's see, a Mr. Mo update. Mr. Mo is doing great. I seem to be the one that's more exhausted than he is. Although it was nice to kind of snuggle in and try to sleep in, as bless his heart, God love him, Mr. Mo was like, "You sleep in." And he tried, but my children, my boy children, whom I love dearly, have not discovered an inside voice to save their life. So they have been loud. And in the most weird thing, Mr. Mo has been laser focused on, just getting painting done. Again, I have tried. This man, other than getting actual handcuffs and cuffing him to the bed, I don't know that I can keep him, like, situated. And honest to goodness, he's wandering around with more energy, and I feel like I have been run over by a dump truck. So, all things considered, Mr. Mo is on the mend, and it's kind of keeping him from doing too much, that is the issue. Whereas I'm like, "Okay, I'll be okay." I will say that having yesterday off, and then watching, the craziness that is the Afro Man trial was kinda just what I needed, to be honest. It was really, really good to just kind of, check out for a little bit. Uh Yeah, so on good news, Mr. Mo and I constantly cannot figure out colors, but we have narrowed down, color choices, and in how to tell you're an adult without saying you're an adult, Mr. Mo, found out that Sherwin-Williams is having a sale, and I have never seen an adult man so excited. So, he's like, "We might have, a color, and Sherwin-Williams is having a sale." So I'm like, "You know what? You go down with your bad self." So I will say that, despite myself, I am letting him have his kind of say on the colors, although bless his heart, I love Mr. Mo, but this is what always happens. I don't know if this is normal for married couples, But Mr. Mo and I both understand that we like kind of offbeat styles. So we're trying to find, colors and stuff for the rest of our house that are I mean, that are not grayish, but, if we were gonna sell it in, like, the next 10 years, or 9-ish, 10 years, like, we wouldn't have to paint again, hopefully. So, like, neutral-ish, but not boring. Now, I my husband loves to watch the home renovation channel. I hate it because someone needs to explain how in the Corey Richins math works on the HG channel. Because has anyone ever figured this out? They're like, "Hello, my name is Clarence Tristan Esquire the Third, and I run a gerbil rescue, and this is my wife and life partner, Sage, and she sells candles on the internet. We have a price point of 17 million." And you're like, "Do what now?" Like, Imma need you to explain how you even have a dollar with said careers. Eh, so, yeah, no, and if I see shiplap, would someone stop women with shiplap? Look, men, I am on your side. I don't know why from the '80s where we had vertical fake shiplap and everyone decided that was crap. Then we go to the early or to now and we've got flip and flapjack horizontal paneling, but it's shiplap. No, it's horizontal paneling. Change my mind. Now, as luck would have it, in an amazing, gift to us as a couple, our best man and woman at at our wedding, his they're a husband and wife, and it was his best friend, and then she is just super sweet, but she's also a really good decorator. So, she is the one we are calling in because we have now 3 samples of colors that we don't hate, which is how we have to go because we just don't like the same things. So that's kind of where we are on that, and I doggone it, I hate to bring this to you guys, but, um, if you are of the, thoughts and prayer variety, uh, unfortunately, as soon as, Mr. Mo is on the mend, my 2 little, or my 2 oldest, you guys know, uh, are from my first husband, and we just learned that, their papaw is facing some pretty big health issues. My oldest is coming back from college this weekend, and while I love having her home, I hate that she's coming home to this news. But it is it is remarkable to a mom's heart to watch your children and know that you've raised a child that will come home 3 hours from college to be with her papa, and that's not all on me. She is a remarkable young woman on her own, but to know that I had a little bit of a part in making her the kind, sensitive, you know, caring girl woman that she is becoming. Look, she'll always be a girl to me. She will always be the newborn with the black mohawk that they sat on my lap when I was pretty sure I should have started with a goldfish on my, journey to adulthood. So, I will say that, you know, if if you're parenting a teen and you're wondering like, "Oh my goodness gracious, are any of these big life lessons that I'm trying to get in going through?" They are, I promise you. You might only get like, how's your day? How's your friends? But on the big things, the important things, you see that those lessons are getting through. And, you know, tell your kids that you're proud of them. Let them know. We sometimes forget to say how incredible, people are. We sometimes forget to say the words. And And if anything has been brought home in the last couple weeks, is that you should always say the words. Sometimes we forget to tell people how much we appreciate them, even if it's just your, significant other bringing you a drink or something, let them know you appreciate them. Mr. Mo's always like, "Why do you tell me thank you for all the small things?" And I was like, "Well, they're not so small to me." I mean, when you go get me a drink, that's a couple steps that I don't have to take in pain because 'cause I'm in my comfy chair. So, just, as a little reminder before we get into the headlines, don't waste your time thinking you'll have more time to say the things you need to say. If there's something that, has been on your heart to say to someone, appreciation, gratitude, just reaching out, take a moment. We live in such an easy time to connect, but sometimes we forget to connect. So that's my recommendation for today. If you've got something or someone that you haven't, spoken your heart to here lately and you need to let them know how much you care about them. Do it. They're not mind readers, and everyone appreciates, hearing the words out loud. But let's get into the headlines because holy fazoli, I take one day off and the world goes just insane. And welcome, and I am back on Rumble. I have just been lazy and honestly forgetting to do Rumble, so I am over on Rumble, and we'll try to be more diligent about doing Rumbly stuff. I still at the bottom of everything. Oh, also, real quick, in honor of the Afro Man trial and, the only reason to wear, my collection of Ron Burgundy velour jackets, yes, I have 3. I need more. But, if any one of you have watched Futurama, I'm beginning to think Zap Brannigan had a point about velour, because I am freezing and velour keeps you warm. I I'm not saying that velour should be the new fabric of our life, but it might be the new fabric of Mo's life. I might have taken the Megan Fox, velour tracksuit, jump. Oh, and if you are on X, I appreciate you guys watching over there, I love it, but, um, if you ever get the urge to come over to YouTube, do leave a comment or a like, it just helps on YouTube get us to more people. Not that I don't appreciate you guys on X, but, we need more people in the Church of Mo. I mean, who doesn't want to know about the lore of velour jackets and my my idea to dress up as Zap Brannigan for, Halloween? Because maybe he had the right idea about velour. Just pop over and lurkers, I appreciate you. I know it's not easy to get into chat, but as a person who started out as reluctant to get in chats, this is a good chat to start in. We're not super huge, we're not super crazy, and we're all a bit weird nerdy here, so it's not like you're gonna stick out. So have a lovely day. Even if you still lurk, I appreciate you. So, our first headline is that author Brian Daughtry has been found, well, he was found dead at a California park after an apparent fall. Author Brian Daughtry has been found dead in the Bay Area park after a presumed fall. Now, the 57-year-old was found at Battery Yates, a historic landmark in the Marin County, Sausalito last week, according to Reason magazine, where he worked as a senior editor. Now, he is believed to have fallen last Thursday night after attending an art gathering held atop the park's historic concrete military defense structures. Yikes. I don't know what he wrote. To be fair, my reading sticks to, like, smuxy romance, so I don't tend to read, like, grown-up books. I mean, like, not not R to X-rated romance, like, grown-up books. I'm just saying, if it's like a thriller, I'm probably not reading it unless there's a semi-shirtless man on the front, and if he if he was the senior editor at Reason, I don't think he's writing semi-shirtless man books. Now, he is widely recognized for writing extensively about evolution of libertarian thought. Yeah, definitely, they don't have a lot of libertarian romances like "Let's freely trade our love," "Anarchy of the heart," libertarian romance. I don't know, maybe I could be the first one to write a libertarian sovereign citizen romance. It would be a niche market, but I think I could find a way to make money. Most notably was his book in 2008, Radicals for Capitalism, which traced the development of the modern American libertarian movement. Now, in a tribute, David Knott described him as the movement's go to historian, noting that he had a unique ability to vividly and thoroughly capture the personalities and stories that shaped libertarianism. Okie dokie. Now, he was born in Brooklyn in the late 1960s and grew up in Florida before moving to California in the 90s. It was the Golden State that he said inspired, wasn't he was inspired by the Cacophony Society, a loosely organized nationwide network of pranksters, union explorers, and artists, which later inspired events like Burning Man and SantaCon. And it eventually led him to write a book. This is Burning Man: The Rise of the New American Underground. So interesting. I mean, again, just terribly tragic, and I hope those that he left behind and his fans are gathering together to support one another because loss, whoever it is not a fun thing. Well, what in the world is going on in Alaska? A comedy club owner with terminal cancer took the lives of his ex-in-laws and tried to hunt his, well, ex-wife before, I believe, taking his own life. I generally don't read these articles. I just pull them by headline so I can kind of give my reaction along with you guys. Honestly, almost all these headlines could have been, daggone, what in the Walmart rapture? 2026, again, pace yourself. We've got like a gajillion more months. I mean, how are you going to top anything you've done recently? A comedy club owner who reportedly had terminal cancer is no longer living after gunning down his ex father in law and attempting to take the life of his ex wife outside of her Alaska business. Now, Anchorage police launched a manhunt to search for 61-year-old Matthew Thomas Becker after he took the life of his former father in law, Romaine Clark, and attempted to take the life of his ex wife on Saturday, March 14th. Now, that's according to Anchorage Daily News. Now, Becker was reportedly a suspect in the murder and faced first degree murder and third degree assault charges after he attempted to shoot his ex wife outside her self owned hair salon on Saturday morning. Now, police said that he then gunned down Clark inside a nearby residence just minutes later. Becker's ex wife told police that he appeared next to her in a vehicle as she was driving to work before exiting his car and shooting at her as she tried to unlock the doors to the business, according to the criminal complaint. Now, the woman was reportedly able to hide from Becker and call 911 to tell that she feared for her father in law or her father's safety. Shortly after her 9:30 a.m. phone call, officers located Clark inside of his home with an apparent gunshot wound. Based on preliminary evidence, it appears that the suspect went to the rear of the residence and fired a couple rounds through the plate glass window, taking the life of the victim, and then fled the scene, according to Anchorage Police Chief Sean Case. Now, Clark's body was reportedly discovered by friends just minutes after or minutes before the police were going to be on scene. Becker's ex wife, who also added that she did not know he had returned to Alaska after moving to Arizona following the pair's divorce. The shooting sparked a manhunt within the area, with the investigation coming to an abrupt end after Becker was found dead in a wooded area on Sunday, just one day after the shootings. Now, his body was discovered by authorities in the woods in Eagle River around 10:30 a.m. Now, officials are still working to determine his cause and manner of death. Now, his brother reportedly said that Becker was recently diagnosed with terminal cancer and was living in Arizona while he was or he owned a comedy club called Chuckleheads. So we might see much more information, possibly, I don't know. Because he passed away, I'm guessing there are going to be final reports. Whether or not the family speaks out on the motivators would be up to them, and I certainly do hope. um, I'm gonna say something here, and it's not to start an internet drama or anything, but I saw the grossest thing yesterday, and I'm just gonna call it out. So, look, I don't tend to call out creators 'cause yeah, they don't watch my stream, I don't watch theirs, blah. But hidden true crime, going up to Eric's family after the verdict and trying to get it's so gross, it's so gross. Why can't you just let people alone? I don't like it when court TV focuses on the victims. I My heart broke for Katie. It seemed like that was the first time she could just grieve her brother and not have to be strong. And my heart broke for her because 'cause I've been that person where you can finally let your guard down. And to have some weird blonde who looked like she destroyed a bath rug to put on a sweater, try to get you in that time, I just don't get it. If the family reaches out to you, I think that's fine, but to try to just bother people. Look, if you were a decent person, I wouldn't call it out, but that's just gross. If they wanna talk to you, they will talk to you, but there's plenty to talk about Corey Richards, that you don't need to go and bother the family. I find it very, very icky. And I generally don't make moral judgments on people, but I find that icky. So, not trying to start an internet beef war, that's gross behavior. Again, if the family wants to tell their story, but making someone reach out or explain themselves in a moment of grief, again, probably the first moments of real grief they've been able to have with you're not human. I don't get it. So I will be keeping, an update on this, but it might be a little bit longer since, the suspect has passed away. There's not that exigent kind of need to expedite all of the tox reports and things like that to get ready for a trial. It will be interesting to see if there are any probate issues. It does seem interesting that he targeted his ex-wife and his ex-father-in-law. They didn't say anything about a mother-in-law, so I don't know if she's no longer living or there was no animosity there. So those will be interesting things, to look at. It will also be interesting to see if anyone around him in Arizona, as they conduct, an investigation into this, noticed anything different about him or this was really precipitated by the diagnosis. And depending on what type of cancer it was, if it was a brain cancer, that could have led to a very big change in personality. So it will be interesting to see. Again, that's all speculation, but it will be interesting to see what kind of things come out about this as we go forward. Well, we finally know who Banksy's or Banksy? Is it Banksy's or Banksy? Look, I'm not rich enough to afford any of his art, destroyed, shredded, or non-shredded, nor do I understand buying art that isn't Sailor Moon. So I am not one of his target audience members, but apparently he has been unmasked. The infamous graffiti artist known as Banksy has finally been unmasked after changing his name to something so generic he could really hide in plain sight. The notorious guerrilla street artist, whose polarizing works have sold for millions of dollars, has been or was identified as Robin Guggenheim. Gunningham? Yeah, I would have to change that. Yeah, that's pretty noticeable. From 51 from the English city of Bristol in a detailed investigation by Reuters on Friday. Now, the report found that Gunningham had changed his name to David Jones, one of the most common British male names, in 2008 to avoid detection. It's one of the most popular names in Britain, so common it helps him hide in plain sight, the report stated. Now, as part of their investigation, reporters pulled information from a trip to war-torn Ukraine where he was photographed and spoke to locals, had a falling out with a Jamaican photographer, Peter Richard or Dean Richards. Well, I mean, and a 2000 NYPD arrest report, including a signed handwritten confession. Now, Jones has previously been identified as Banksy dating back to a Mail on Sunday report in 2008. However, Reuters report pieced together several forensic pieces of evidence to come to their own conclusions. The report's authors say that they have also disproven the theory that Banksy was really a musician named Robert Del Naja, frontman of the famed Bristol group Massive Attack. Confusingly, their investigation found that Del Naja was also in Ukraine in 2022, but he was reportedly there with you are so proud of yourself. Let me show the chat. Mr. This is how you can tell we are damn old. You know those commercials like "Don't turn into your parent"? Mr. Mo is smiling like a daggone 3-year-old. We have turned into our This man is more happy than if I told him I had invented a machine that made cable free and bacon, flavored broccoli, which I would actually eat. You are How much did we pay for this?
$14.
You are so proud of yourself.
That's right.
You
Every time we have to go run and grab a color. This way, I've got it all up here. We have so much painting to do, it's ridiculous.
Never in my lifetime would I have thought that a fan of paint samples would make my husband the happiest he's ever looked in his entire life. That's what men really are from Mars and women are from Venus, because never in my life would have thought that a trip to Sherwin-Williams and a $14 paint fan thingy would make his day. Y'all, if you could see the smile on his face, he's so excited. This is what I love about marriage. This is what people don't get. If you're newly married, if you're thinking about getting married, look, this is what you don't get. This is what marriage is. This is the weird thing of like your spouse being excited about like the weirdest damn thing and you're just happy. You know what? That's marriage. You don't understand it. You're a bit confused, but you are just tickled pink that they have found something they love. Again, we don't understand it, just like he doesn't understand my trial stuff. So, again, Jeff Montgomery, it's a guy thing, but hey, can you tell the difference between eggshell, ivory, off-white, bright white, and cream? Actually, Mr. Mo is the painter. Now we will tangent out into story time because so Mr. Mo has always been the painter. He used to work as a professional painter. And I work as a professional chaos demon, which means that he'll notice like drips and bumps and dips and things, and I didn't. So he would like watch me paint like you watch a toddler with a magic marker, and I would get so anxious that I would do worse. So we finally just executively decided that he would just paint because all the only reason I was attempting to paint was because I wanted to try to help, and I am not a help in painting. But a couple years ago, we were going to host Thanksgiving at our house, and I had got a bee up my bonnet that I wanted our guest bathroom painted a sage green, and Mr. Mo was very clear that he would not have time to paint the bathroom. Now, this was about the time that youngest most feral was still at home all day. So, I got him set up with a movie. Y'all, never in my life have I actually taped things when I painted because I'm more of the like, let's have a wet washcloth and we can wipe that up. Again, there is a reason Mr. Mo doesn't trust me to paint. But y'all, I did like the best job. Like I looked for drips, I taped everything up, and I so Mr. Mo taught me this trick with a Ziploc bag. So if you're not quite done with the roller, and you're kind of letting everything dry to see if there's any spots, you can, put the roller in a Ziploc bag and, kind of smush all the air out and it'll stay moisty and usable. So you don't have to, clean out and get a whole new roller. Y'all, I shut the door, I locked because, we have an old house, so you know how you can lock and, like, put a bobby pin and, and I was so ready to tell Mr. Mo I done painted, when your kiddos bring home, like, "I got a gold star," like, I could not wait for Mr. Mo to come home. I was like, look at this paint, there are no drips, aren't I so great? Give me a kiss." I was ready. And then I was cleaning up because, laundry still exists, and I realized that it was suddenly too quiet. Now, if you've ever had feral children, you understand that quiet is not comforting, it is in fact terrifying. Well, youngest most feral had decided that we needed a little color in our lives, and he had, Rube Goldberg assembled a ladder to get on the top of the refrigerator where I had hidden, uh, the paint roller, and decided to go upstairs and on every white door, roll sage green across it. It was at that moment that I looked at my youngest, most feral, looked up to the Lord, and I said, "I am never painting again." I like, "Lord, fine, you know what? You don't have to shout. You don't have to shout. I will never again pick up a paint roller. It is you know what? I done heard ya. I done heard ya. You know what? I just won't paint. I have a husband, you send him, so I will let him paint." Y'all, you don't get it. Like, I am generally not the cleanest person. Like, I am a bit chaotic. I have gotten better in my age, but I was so proud of myself. Like, I took my time. I was so, like, careful with the brush because I'm not good at the brush thing. Mr. Mo can, like, edge things in without tape, and I'm over here like, "Tiny baby Jesus, you and I are both here. Let us get through this together." And that's with tape. So, but there you go. The key to Mr. Mo's heart was apparently a Sherwin-Williams membership. I bet you he is out there with that. And that's what marriage is. Again, look, it's laughing, but being tickled pink that they have found something. You don't have to understand everything they do. Hell, half the time Mr. Mo doesn't understand any of the things I do, but he's happy I'm happy doing them. And they're not illegal yet. Um, Well, Nick was correct because not only has Afro Man taken over LawTube, but the New York Post has decided to, well, weigh in on the Afro Man trial. Afro Man clashes with cops in course as one officer is left in tears over a music video about failed 2022 police raid. I don't know. Sometimes because he got raided, rapper Afro Man clashed with Ohio law enforcement in court Tuesday, leaving one deputy in tears as the singer testified in a lawsuit filed by the sheriff's office over his 2022 satirical music video. The 51-year-old Afro Man, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, blamed the Adams County Sheriff's Office for the high-profile court case after their executed search warrant, well, botched pretty much, at his home in August 2022. Quote, "All of this is their fault," Foreman said, clad in a red, white, and blue suit with matching sunglasses, as he stood out in front of court on Tuesday. I mean, the suit is just this is why the Matrix can't exist. Look, what kind of sentient, biometric, race would populate the Matrix with Afro Man? They would not even conceive of well, I guess it would be the Python code that would create, Afro Man. If they hadn't wrongly raided my house, there would be no lawsuit. I would not know their names, they wouldn't be on my home surveillance system, and there would be no songs. My money would still be intact. Following the raid on Foreman's Winchester residence, the Because I Got High artist created a song based on the raid by the Adams County Sheriffs to include home security footage of the raid titled Lemon Pound Cake. Now, the song was titled as such because Foreman mocked one of the officials who, in the raid, decided to glance at the lemon pound cake in the kitchen. Now, 4 deputies, 2 sergeant, and a detective with the sheriff's office filed the suit alleging that the music video, which has been viewed over 3 million times since December 2022 and 3 million since yesterday. Like, good job, deputies. If you wanted this to hide away, again, this is like telling rackets to be quiet. He is going to get a bullhorn. It's like these people have never dealt with a toddler before. This is exactly how you cannot give him any, you have to either ignore it or be funnier than him. See, he got you guys in the I will never understand why something legitimately hilarious that gets you a little bit in the ego, you can't just say, "You know what? That's actually pretty accurate and funny." I don't mind people trolling me, just make it funny, don't go for low-hanging fruit. And I will say, all joking aside, I did feel sorry for this woman, and all I can say is if your voice bothers you, there are vocal coaches. But ma'am, you are the age where in my life, the older I get, the less I give a rat's ass what anyone thinks of me. Hell, Afro Man could make an entire video about me. I don't care. If it's funny as hell, if he gives me the wig budget, I'll be in it. The thing is, yeah, it sucks. We all have our things. Hell, you will probably never see me in sleeveless shirts because I feel incredibly self-conscious. Uh, John, my little guy in the profile pic, went in for a tooth extraction yesterday. He's old and there are issues, so going under was risky. He came out fine. That is awesome, and I hope he feels better. I need to call my dentist, but I hate the dentist. So, thank you. And you know what, John? Really, thank you for being a brave dog owner, because I know the temptation of, "He's my guy, and I don't wanna take him in if it means I could lose him." But you chose to be brave and give him a better life for however long he has with you, because you were brave, and I'm so proud of you, because that's not an easy choice. It's not easy when you know that there's a chance that, you know, there could be really bad news at the end of it, and I'm so glad that you were brave and he was brave, and now just go home and cuddle. Like, just stay in bed. That's what I would do, but just really proud of you both. Lord, us y'all are gonna make me all Hallmarky today. Glad I have waterproof mascara. But ma'am, here is my issue. We all have our things, but these are people that we are sending into highly charged emotional situations. I I I can't worry that some criminal is gonna say something that's gonna trigger you and you're gonna fall to pieces. I'm sorry that, you know, you are uncomfortable with your very deep voice. There are vocal coaches. If you wanted to change that, or you could just own it. I mean, I would own it at this point. I'd be like, "I'm gonna get us some beers." You know, I I have very little respect for people that can dish it out and are in positions of authority and then want to claim absolute victimhood. Stinger Bell, well, to be very charitable to this woman, Afro Man is claiming that the deputies of Adam County went to his home and conducted a search. When they didn't find anything, uh, some money was seized, and uh, according to Afro Man, $400 was not returned. Now, according to the police officer just miscounted. So Afro Man, being Afro Man, decided to make not so Christian comments about them. Look, are they in poor taste? Eh, yeah, they're basically ad hominem attacks. They're making fun of their looks, their attitude. He alleged that this woman was a lesbian. Now, I believe that she is married and has a husband, but what would be so bad if she was a lesbian? I mean, I didn't think that being a lesbian was a bad thing, but I can understand if you're legitimately not, how it hurt your feelings. But again, you have now just told, like, have none of these people ever been bullied before? Like, I'm gonna take you on a little journey. I would like you to go on a side tangent with me because apparently these people did not live Mo's life. But let me explain to you the journey that Mo walked through. Imagine Mo, sweet summer Mo, the dawn of her 12th year of her life summer. Now, over this 12th year, this summer, it was monumental because the boob fairy decided to visit all the suddenly, overnight, basically. Now, did she bring Mo training boobs? Like, little starter boobs? No, she decided apparently she was high or distracted, I don't know, but Mo got a set of D's, like, out of nowhere, and a headgear, 24/7, big wire, blue headband. So, yes. Now, I don't know if you are aware, but middle school girls might be emotional jihadis. Now, it did not escape their notice that I had been blessed by the boob fairy and the headgear fairy. I may have been their emotional punching bag for my entire middle school career. And you know what I learned to do? Not tell them when things bothered me, because if I let them know something bothered me, in fact, I became the biggest make funner of and got everyone laughing before they did. I was like, "Come on, sweetie, can you not pick?" I was like, low hanging fruit. So I'm just saying, you either learn to, make a joke and, figure it out, or you need to learn not to let people know what your deepest issue is, because if people know, then they're going to hit it. And you have now unfortunately given the entire internet the information that not only do words hurt you, but they really hurt you. And I don't know if you've interneted lately, but what did you think was gonna happen? Honestly, did you guys think that anyone was going to feel sympathy for you in the current climate? Did you think that this, beyond your myopic view of getting money from a relative celebrity, did you think about how this would make your department look? Did you think about how this would make generally police look? You all look incompetent and incredibly sensitive. And I don't know if that's what you want to, but that is what you objectively look like. So there you go. It's it look, I don't I don't like that children are mean or evil to each other, but there is a certain level of social banter that you have to be able to deal with. There's a certain shorthand of humor and comedy that we used to be able to, trade on. And Emma Rumpure from Rumble, low hanging fruit. Is that an innuendo about big boobs? Only after children. Young people, you shouldn't be watching me. And look, I'm not your mom, so I'm not giving this advice to my children. But as as a woman with 50,000 miles on my boobs, I'm just gonna say, enjoy them while you're 18. They will never be perkier than they were when they were 18 you were 18. Enjoy them while they last. Gravity's a bitch. This will be the one day my mom decides to watch, and she will have popped in right at that moment. Because that is my life. Well, seems like Shrek may have had a little bit of a fall. I mean, could this man look any creepier? And look, objectively, he is still presumed innocent, but this man looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre without the Leatherface without the mask, and honestly, he might pull better with the Leatherface mask. The alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer is on crutches after a mysterious health issue in prison. The Long Island architect, who has been accused of taking the lives of 7 women in the Gilgo Beach murders, is hobbling around on crutches behind bars with mysterious health issues, according to his lawyer. Now, defense attorney Michael Brown said the accused, serial unaliver Rex Heuermann skipped his latest Suffolk County court appearance because of the undisclosed ailment that has the hulking Massapequa Park resident temporarily sidelined as he awaits trial. He's been on crutches for a month or so, Brown told reporters outside of court. He has some health issues, so that's what we're dealing with. Now, when asked for details, the lawyer said he was not at liberty to say. Now, Suffolk County corrections officials declined to provide details, citing medical confidentiality. Well, he's just mad because Donkey had to go visit Dragon and he's missing his best friend. As an ogre, he has layers. I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is, but eh. Now, Suffolk County corrections officials have declined, inquiries about what is going on with Heuermann. Now, Brown said he agreed to have Heuermann sit out Tuesday's hearings, which were scheduled for the defense to submit motions and answers to prosecution's filings in advance of the trial. Now, he is charged with killing 7 women whose bodies were found dumped along the desolate stretch of Long Island between 1993 and 2010. I let's see, I still enjoy boobs as a 51-year-old man, grown less picky. Yeah, I'm actually shocked that he is still alive. To be honest, with as many lives as he destroyed, because it's not just each of these women. Each of these women, and look, I get that they worked in sex work, but each of these women was a daughter, a sister, a friend. They weren't just whatever they worked in or what their life circumstances were. They had people. And I get that, yes, a part of this, the way they met Heuermann was through their work, but I really wish we would just notice them as women, as victims first. Now, these, stretch of unsolved killings remained, cold for decades before Suffolk County authorities reopened these cases, which led to Heuermann's arrest outside of his Midtown Manhattan offices in 2023. Now, the accused killer was initially charged with just 3 of the murders, part of the so-called Gilgo 4 victims, but has later been linked to 7 bodies through high-tech DNA matches. Now, Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney has linked Heuermann to Valerie Mack, 24, Jessica Taylor, 20, Megan Waterman, 22, Melissa Bartholomew, 24, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25, Amberlynn Costello, 27, and Sandra Castilla, 28. Now, all of the victims did work in the escort slash, field. It will be interesting. I know a lot of people are waiting for this trial. I have only looked and read through the probable cause affidavit. There are a lot of filings going back and forth, but this will be an interesting case because um, I believe, is one of the first times in one of the major cases that ancestral DNA or the sort of ancestral DNA was used to link. I think that the first time we were going to be seeing this technology was actually in the Brian Koberger case. Now, I could be wrong, but I know that the defense has been challenging the DNA evidence. Now, whether they will be successful or not in limiting the DNA evidence that linked Mr. Hierman to all of these bodies, I doubt it, but they are definitely trying to question the technology and the links they were able to make, I believe, to Rex Hierman's daughter and then to him through hairs on the burlap. Now, in Duh and Godoy, socialite Rebecca Grossman will remain in prison after losing an appeal over taking the lives of two young brothers after speeding in her Mercedes. So, if you've forgotten this story, this particular waste of humanity decided to drink a bunch with her husband at a lunch, and then they both decided to race each other home in their sports car, kind of blitz. And there were 2 little boys that were running, I think, just across the street, and, well, she just plumb ran into them and then thought, like Corey Richins, "Well, isn't there a rich people way to get out of this?" If you can tell by the tone of my sarcasm, I really don't give a rat's ass that this woman's probably in a cockroach-infested prison right now. I could look around for a dam, but I can tell you my GPS is gonna turn up no locations. A California socialite convicted of taking the lives of 2 young brothers in a high-speed crash will remain behind bars after an appellate court upheld her murder convictions. Rebecca Grossman, co-founder of Grossman Byrne Foundation, lost her appeal as a three-judge panel of California's Second Appellate District affirmed the jury's 2024 verdict, finding her guilty of murdering 11-year-old Mark Iskander and his 8-year-old brother Jacob. Now, the rulings means that Grossman will continue to serve her sentence of 15 years to life in state prison for the 2020 hit and run that just shattered the Iskander family. Now, Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan J. Hochman said that the outcome reinforced that convictions were both justified and legally sound. Rebecca Grossman was rightfully convicted by a jury of her peers for the callous murder of 2 children when she chose to drive at up to 81 miles per hour in a residential street after drinking at a bar knowing full well that this could have deadly results. The legal standard is clear. Driving at excessive speeds through pedestrian crosswalks after consuming alcohol absolutely demonstrates the requisite state of mind for second-degree murder. The outcome of this case shows that the law applies to everyone, and money or connections offer no immunity from accountability. So again, I'm glad she's not getting away with this. She destroyed 2 young lives and an entire family, extended family, friends of these little boys. Yeah, just because you have money doesn't mean you get away with this. Now, she tried to blame just about everything other than herself. The jury did not buy that, and bon voyage, bitch chacho. I mean, drop the soap, don't drop the soap. That's your choice now. Well, we've got a couple headlines that'll make you ask, what in the Walmart rapture to end the day with? Because I have some questions, y'all.
The G-Keep Grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack listening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
And thank you, Anima Rumpure, for the $10 Rumble rant. Glad to see you on Rumble again. Hope to see you on a Baker stream sometime soon. Yes, it's weird that as you get busier, it's like you're trying to keep track of everyone. And then, unfortunately, it seems like life is very good at making sure everyone's crises kind of happen at either all at the same time or staggered. Well, it would be Florida man. A Florida man who was rescued from a burning boat at sea, then allegedly pushed the captain who saved his life overboard. As you do. Snake Island. This man cannot be trusted in society. A Florida man is facing charges after he was rescued from a burning boat, only to allegedly push his rescuer overboard and try to steal his vessel. Authorities responded to a report of an incident near Marco Island in Collier County on March 6th, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. Now, they were called, and they initially said that Sea Tow captain had helped save Ryan Dieter, 40, from a burning boat and brought him aboard his towboat. Dieter then allegedly pushed the Good Samaritan off the towboat and drove away, leaving the Sea Tow captain stranded, per, reports. Now, Dieter allegedly grounded the boat, then took off on foot. He was eventually located naked in the nearby mangroves, as you do, per local authorities. The Sea Tow captain was found safe. I don't know what he was thinking, but someone comes to help you, and then this is what you do, Nancy Cook, a local resident, said of the incident while speaking to the Gulf Coast News. It's really disturbing to see that here. The security here is wonderful, and we always feel very safe, but I don't know exactly what happened with that. I'm glad that the sea captain is okay. That was scary. Now, on March 7th, Dieter was arrested and charged on 4 counts, including grand theft, resisting arrest, operating a vehicle while impaired, and burglary that involved assault or battery. Now, he is scheduled to appear in court on March 30th per court records. So there you go. I mean, in case you were wondering. Now, another one for Snake Island. Basically, my final form Jesus is people who need to repent today. A disgraced New York teacher nicknamed Major Hands is accused of hosting prostitution parties at his upstate home. What in the Charlie Sheen is going on here? A disgraced veteran-turned-teacher nicknamed Major Hands was hit with federal charges for allegedly turning his upstate New York home into a brothel, where he hosted raucous prostitution parties. As you do, I guess. Eric Simpson, a 66-year-old technology teacher in the North Rose Walcott Central School District, allegedly moonlighted as a pimp as he regularly promoted, managed, and carried on prostitution parties at his Macedon home from 2021 to 2025. What in the P. Diddy meets Mr. Cotter? What is this timeline? The retired member of the New York National Guard, quote, arranged to have commercial ladies of the evening they were giving TED Talks, present and available to perform, their services with Simpson and those that he invited to the parties. And that's according to his indictment. Now, Simpson allegedly used his email address to advertise these raunchy raves, including up-to-date lists of which workers would be performing inside the home, according to federal prosecutors in the Western District of New York. Now, the emails also instructed clients to negotiate payment or donations for services with the dancers, as you do. Simpson even allegedly set up a cover charge for admission to the parties, managed the rooms or accommodations, and directed the clandestine visitors to parking spots away from his home. Simpson, who is also identified as Major Hands in the indictment. We need to get this indictment. I need to save this story for Nick because this looks like a Nick and Mo indictment we need to read. Because what in the name of all that is unholy? Now, he was a guardsman for 29 years, did serve in Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan before ending his tenure as a commissioned officer in Rochester and Troy, New York in 2010, according to his LinkedIn. Now, he did work as a substitute teacher in Monroe County Public Schools up through his most recent position as a technology teacher in the North Rose Walcott Central School District, which said he resigned from the position in January. Now, he has been indicted on one count of use of interstate facilities to promote, manage, establish, or carry on a prostitution enterprise. Now, he was arraigned on Wednesday and has pled not guilty. This is the weirdest remake of The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas I've ever seen, and Dolly Parton seems to be nowhere in this particular one. But there you guys go. Let me look. I know Nick said he was going to be trying to start relatively early this morning with the Afroman trial, so let me see if he is ready to go, and I will redirect you guys there. 'Cause they keep pulling up people I don't really know, and I know it's supposed to be so we can, like, kind of step outside of our bubble, but if I don't know you and I'm looking for someone I do know, I don't want to have not people I don't know. I know that makes perfect sense. Alright. Well, it doesn't look like Nick has it up yet. Let me check with, the Twit Twat. Well, hopefully, Nick will be on shortly, but and I will be, checking on Mr. Mo, seeing what, magical colors he's got from the paint fan of awesome, and you know what? I'm just getting him paint fans for the rest of his life. I have never seen him happier. And honestly, I'm just happy he's happy. Like I said, y'all didn't see his face, but it was the cutest thing. He looked like he had found, like, a limited edition Furby by you guys. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because kindness doesn't equal doormat, and you never know when you'll meet Major Hands. Although, apparently, Mr. Hand from Ridgemont High is judging this because apparently he just got tired of following around Spicoli by you guys.